Good evening. It is I, Roncar. It is my pleasure to be with you in this evening. I know that you are all well, and you are happy to be here on this day. I hope that you have enjoyed the meditation. In particular, I hope that you realize the empowerment that has been given to you through this meditation. If you followed it, you realized that you had the power of God simply because everything in this creation is made up of the God stuff, because God manifested it from his own being. There was nothing but him in the universe, and he created the universe. And so, as you are made up of the stuff of God, you have all the powers and all the energies of God within you. You have all the wisdom and the knowledge of God. And while I know this is impossible to think and to consider, that you, a mere mortal individual, has the same wisdom of God. But sometimes it takes a while for the wisdom to be displayed, to find the wisdom within yourself. And it is important for you to be patient with yourself at times when you are facing problems and you are seeking answers. For frequently you do not decide to go within and ask for the answers. You keep thinking in your own head, in your mind, and asking and seeking advice from those around you in books, and trying to come to solutions, when the real ability to find the right solution, especially the right solution for yourself, lies within you. I know sometimes it is hard because your mind gets in the way. That as you are contemplating what it is that you need to know and what action should you take, your mind is also considering those questions, and it sends forth ideas. And so sometimes you doubt which ideas are from the God power within you and which ideas are just your own. But you know, it does not matter. For when you have ideas, you have things to consider. Is this a solution? What is its possible ramifications? And so you can compare this solution against another solution, thinking about the possible ramifications, the possible consequences. Because frequently, those puzzling problems that come into your life are ones that have consequences for you. And so sometimes you fear certain consequences in your life. And as a result, would hesitate to take something that might bring about consequences on your part, things that you know, you need to know. And all you can do is seek the one that works the best for you. You can try a solution. And as you try the solution, as it unfolds, you will begin to see whether it will be successful or is about to devolve into a set of consequences you are not prepared to take. But then you have time to change, to try something else. but also sometimes those consequences that you do not want to experience are the ways that you will grow, the way your knowledge, which is in your head, grows. And it understands. And so you become smarter. You have now some guidance and help because you must handle the consequences. You figure out the things you need to do, and often the way you need to grow and change. For the power to deal with everything in your life lies within you. It is only up to you to try to figure out what the actions are, how you need to change yourself. And you will soon figure those things out and proceed to create a better life for yourself. One with more happiness, perhaps more prosperity, better health. In many different ways, you will improve yourself. And that is what you seek to do. Are there any questions on what I have been speaking about, or any questions on anything that you desire help with?
I have a question.
Yes.
There is a person around me, and you'll know him because he's he's a big guy. He's got many, many facets to him. He has relationships with clients, and he has a relationship with me as a client. What can you tell me about him? Because he's extremely complicated. I have my own, I've done all my own research, but I'd like to know what your independent feel is for him. You'll know him because he looks like Mr. Clean, but he's got a lot of facets, and some of them not so good.
Yes, but this is not a question for me to answer, just my opinion of this individual. I need to know what you are seeking in this relationship so that I can address your needs.
Okay, I understand. By the way, I've seen it clearly myself, but what is it seems like I've known him forever, and I could tell you exactly the 1300s on the castle, the whole thing. More the direct line of that relationship, but not a human relationship.
But not a human relationship?
Yes, it's, in other words, it's a deep feeling of knowledge, and we just know each other forever, but we could never get along because he's just on the human plane. But there's a very tight connection. So whatever you get would be fine.
Okay.
I know you're laughing.
I am, because you are trying to be so circumspect as to not give me a name, to try and get.
Oh, do you want a name? Do you want a name?
First name is fine.
Oh, Daniel.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. It's always helpful.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You have
Sorry.
had numbers of relationships.
I know.
Many of them which could fulfill this description, as it is somewhat vague. So by giving me the name of Daniel, I can perhaps be of more help to you. I say perhaps. Just one moment, please. But I do not understand why you are seeking this knowledge unless you are seeking, you have said, a conclusive state that you could not possibly get along together on this particular plane at this particular time. In which case, I am curious, or that is not really the word, to know exactly why you have asked this question, as you have already spoken of your conclusion that you could not possibly get along together on this plane.
Okay, the third facet is he's a client of mine. And he's mysterious and he's manipulative, and yet there's a strong connection. And if I say nothing, it usually works out. We have an impending transaction coming up, and he's got a time limit of Thursday, but he's very secretive. So that's the thing, is when I do have to deal with him, I don't always know the outcome, but I
No.
know the outcome. I just want to hear what you have to say.
Now,
Does that help?
Now I have an understanding, and now
Yes.
I can respond.
Yes.
Because your true question, is he likely to respond, and how he shall respond by the time period, within the time constraints of
Right.
this?
He has, yeah, he's on a time
And-
frame that he has to have something happen this week, or it will be extremely costly to him.
Yes. Well, one moment, please. I believe I see him responding by the day that you have indicated, Thursday. He has some things to put together to be assured that he is able to meet the obligations that he will need to do under the terms of the, well, he has to meet all his obligations and still come up with what is needed for this transaction. And so he is working on that. He is not finished. Not everything has been done. He is a little bit manipulative, and he is not always truthful. So that what I can say is that he is working on making it happen so that he can finish the transaction the way he would like it to finish. But that is in doubt at this time. So that is about what I can tell you. He is working on it. And
That's perfect.
Pardon?
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. The word manipulative has all caps in it.
Yes.
Thank you.
And also the not truthful. So
Yes.
he hides things very much.
Yes.
And this is, he just needs to put things together so that this is not just one transaction. You see, there are more transactions involved behind the one that he is
Yes.
trying to affect with you.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there other questions for me?
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm working on 3 new projects, and I just want to know if any of them are going to be beneficial.
Well, 3 projects. That is a good start. When you are saying, will any of them be beneficial? I am looking into it right now, and I see I want to phrase it this way. I see movement on 2 of the projects. The third project, this is not to say that you should number them. I started this one first, I started that one second, and this is the third project. And so that's my number 3. I cannot determine the order in which I am saying, except to say that one project looks like it will not make much progress. The other two require a continued effort. It is not going to be as simple as doing X, Y, Z and then getting the result that you want. You have to start out with X, Y, Z and then go to A, B, C and P, F. My alphabet is not in order, but neither is the actions that you have to take. You need to continue to put creative energy into these two, and out of that, one, because of the amount of creative energy you give it, will succeed will be successful. One probably you'll put on hold, and I do not see one making progress. So you just need to keep working on them, putting in as much time as you can into these things, but continuing to make effort. You may need to come up with a different technique, and that is not quite the right word, a different way of working, a different angle, I like that angle, a different angle in order to get these things moving. And so just keep working at it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there other questions?
Yeah, hi, Roncar. Long
Yes.
time no chat. The usual questions. Raymond, do you sense him getting a career job, you know, in the very, very, very near future? He's had other, you know, temp positions that, you know, not career based, but just regular jobs and whatnot. But what are you sensing for him? Because, you know, we're trying to figure out how long to keep him out there, supporting him in one way or the other until he runs out of money. You know, so thank you. That's the first question. I have other questions, but I don't want to dominate all night. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, but if no other person has questions, please feel free to ask questions.
Certainly.
You are speaking of keeping him in the Midwest physically?
Yeah, he's still in Indiana. He had a job and it was just a regular job. And apparently he got terminated from the position. He did not confess to us, but he told his uncle. And I was curious to know what was the real impetus for that. And two, he has had phone screenings and he has one tomorrow. And he also has a weekend job that hopefully will, you know, for catering and whatnot. He's done that here in New Jersey, working for, you know, a resort doing food service and whatnot. He said that even if he were to get a career job, he would still keep the weekend job if they do hire him, you know, for extra money. So, I mean, he's still very motivated. I'm just trying to see where his attraction point is, if he's drawing enough law of attraction stuff, you know, to manifest his reality. I certainly can't
Yes.
create for him. So I'm just wondering where the point of that all is, and is it feasible for him to stay out there?
Well, you have to determine, since you are supporting him almost completely, the small amounts of money he is earning and do not quite cover all his expenses, to say the least. And of course, it's variable and he makes different amounts of money, so nothing can be counted on at this time. Not limiting the area in which he is seeking employment will be the most benefit to him. It was helpful for him to seek in the current location, but as he is still there and is not finding productive work, it is time to reduce restrictions. You cannot say, at this point in time, we would like him to be resident near the family members in Indiana, or we would like him to be resident close to home in New Jersey, or we would like him, he needs to be willing to go where the job is. He has skills as he has completed college, and however, we know that sometimes his personality and the way he reacts to people and questions sometimes are not helpful to himself. And he cannot help these things because he does not understand them within himself. He believes that his behavior is most normal. And this is a problem that is almost impossible for you to address and should not address. You must allow him to do the best that he can and keep encouraging him to look wherever he can to find work. And perhaps on his resume, he should not list these short-term jobs that he has had and just indicate that he is a new graduate seeking employment. Do you understand?
Well, the only thing is if they ask for a transcript and he graduated 2022, that's a whole year ago. Let me ask you this, because you talk about personality and his reaction to things. Can you give me some examples, or even if it's not real world in his experience, give me something that I could get a
cannot
sense of what's going on.
I cannot give you an example, and it really does not matter, since you cannot be helping him. You cannot correct these examples, even if I could give it to you. It is most important that you simply insist on him being diligent in looking for work. Aside from his food service work, he
Well,
needs
he even applied for LA. And I said, well, if you move to Los Angeles, they better pay you a lot more than Indiana because it's extremely high cost of living. And he told them that, just like he got a relocation package to Indiana, he made clear that if they were to move him out to LA, that they would have to also supplement him to pack up and leave Indiana to go to LA. So he's not locked into anything. He realizes that Indiana may not be the thing for him, and he's not drawn there for anything. He could care less about Indiana. It doesn't mean anything to him. It's just a place he went to because there was a job available. He waited months and months and months. But the two things that I think are crippling him is, one, lack of job experience, including internship that really didn't amount to much during COVID, and these HR algorithms that they use. Okay, what's your GPA? What's this? What's that? These are AI bots that are looking at this and based off of that, without any human eyes really looking a little more in depth. And he's very honest to a fault. And I said, you got to sketch it a little bit here. Everyone else is doing it. You got to embellish a little bit. I mean, granted, don't lie, if they ask you something. But he also said, oh, well, the GPA is killing me, because when he got sent home, he didn't have the resources available on campus, blah, blah, blah. So that hurt him, which is annoying, but he doesn't even have any recourse to say, hey guys, it was during COVID. Can you cut me a break? Or there wasn't a lot of internship opportunity when companies were sending their employees home. I mean, it's the worst time that you could have graduated from college, the worst of the worst of the worst. I mean, it really dinged these kids. And it's sad because these HR managers or the AI algorithms don't acknowledge any of this. I mean, it's just absolutely disgusting. You know what Raymond said? He said that a lot of jobs go unfilled because they keep waiting for experienced people. They would rather take them on instead of some unknown and whatnot, you know, an unknown quantity. And I think that's just ridiculous. Everyone says, oh, there's tons of jobs out there. I'm not seeing that. Now, granted, maybe, and I have listened to his interviewing, and I remember you saying to me that in the beginning he was not as smooth, and you said that he's gotten better. I've listened to him, and I'll be honest, and here I'm in sales. I have very high social skills. I thought he sounded great. I really did. I thought he hit all points. He seemed enthusiastic. He answered, you know, in completion of things, didn't lag. You know, they're not noticing if he's rocking back and forth or tapping his feet or nervous or whatever. You know, these are phone screenings. And I just thought, what the hell's going on? You know, if you're saying it's personality, the last job, you know, working, building grills and whatnot for my company, actually, they're a subcontractor. But he said that he drilled a hole into something that didn't have a hole there because the manufacturer didn't build it properly. And I guess they got upset. But you're telling me that it was more personality and not that he did something, you know, to help build the grill instead of, you know, voiding the warranty or whatever. Because I talked to a friend of mine who did that exact job, and he said sometimes they forget to drill a hole where you have to put a bolt or something, and he's had to drill to put a bolt in. So you're saying it's more personality. I'm wondering what he did that got him fired. I told him to keep his mouth shut, mind his business, go to work, do a job, leave. And that's it. So thank you. Sorry to go on and on.
Yes, one moment. When you stated that he applied for a job in Los Angeles, it sounded like that was a place that he was applying for work. It's important that he not apply for a place. And you have already indicated he did not apply to work in Indiana. He applied for a job.
Oh, no, he's applying everywhere, including Los Angeles.
Yes. And so it's important that he just continues to seek work within his realm of experience. Since he has not had enough experience, having had the misfortune to be put in an internship which determined he should work from home without the mentoring help of other people, he could perhaps try for another internship. Seeking an internship in the area in which he has his degree. It might be a way of getting into a company. Many jobs are found through referrals of friends. I realize he may be deficit in this area, for his friends, being his own age, do not have great authority and do not necessarily have the ability to suggest to their employers or their companies that he would be a good candidate for them. So he is lacking that. So my suggestion is see if he can apply for internships. Actively seek out the desire to have an internship. He already has his degree. And so that would put him in front of, so to speak, a student who has not yet completed all the requirements for a degree. And perhaps he then would have more knowledge and could demonstrate more knowledge than someone who is still at school. And that is just my suggestion at this point in time. You can always bring him home again. You do not have to keep him in Indiana, and let him apply for work everywhere that he has applied for work all over the country, and seek it out from home again. And then you would be minimizing your expenses, excuse me. And you might be more able to continue to have him living at home.
Yeah, but finally, once he comes in, I'll never get him out of here. He said that the employers are in no rush to, even after you have a screening and an interview, to actually bring you on board. When Raymond got the job in Indiana, there were 2 interviews, and he didn't go out till I think a month and a half, 2 months later, if I'm not mistaken. I know it was at least a month, and they gave him a relocation time. But he's right about that. If we pull the plug on him and say, okay, it's 15 May, you've applied, you haven't heard anything, and we can bring him back here to New Jersey, and then who knows, he can get a call and say, okay, we're ready for you. Start working in a week or 2. I mean, that's why I'm trying to get a timetable. If you could provide me that, to say, okay, you know what?
Cannot provide a
There's just
timetable.
nothing. I know the universe has, parallel realities, and we're constantly in flux because we create our reality as we lay the tracks down. As Roncar says, sometimes the tracks are being laid down seconds before the fact. I'm just trying to get a sense of his pulling attraction. Is there any traction to the traction? is there anything that you see as a potential for him to keep him there and be able to be, for the most part, sustainable, at least pay the rent and the gas? If he could do that, I'd be happy to pay the cell bill and the car insurance. I don't mind doing that, but he's got to pay the rent, and he's got to pay for incidentals and food. I mean, at the very least.
I understand. I do understand. These things are never easy to assign a time period. It does not matter how hard I look. Time is elusive, particularly when you are in spirit and out of time. It is simply elusive. So I cannot give you the information that you seek. He is correct in many of his evaluations that many times they are not in a hurry to make a decision. They do not really need someone. Business many businesses are not secure in the profitability and the ability to support employees. And so they must wait until it is urgent, or that is their proclivity. Perhaps they could support someone, but they want to drag their feet. And so your son is correct in his evaluation. With that in mind, that is another reason why I could not give you a time period.
Yeah, he said that they just dumped the work on the existing employees. And it's true. Even my own job, there used to be a lot more managers, supervisors, employees. It's getting better because we're changing processes. But up until recent, I mean, I was just buried in work. I mean, from start to end in the day. I'm in perpetual motion. And that's what they want from us, corporate greed. Anyway, I don't want to take up other people's time, but thank you. On this note, I'll let others talk. There's more, but I don't want to continue. Thank you so
Well,
much.
if someone does not speak up, then you can continue. But let us
Yes.
know if there are questions from any other person who is present. So if anyone else there would like to ask a question,
Hi, Roncar.
yes.
I was wondering if there was anything that my spirit guides need to tell me right now. If you could help them tell me.
So my question is going to be for you. Why are you looking for help at this time? We have just finished a meditation. I just finished a lecture that said everything you need to know is found within yourself. And you are now asking for, is there something that my spirit guides need to tell me at this time? Implying that they will give you the answer, possibly to a problem. And I would like to help you, and perhaps I can do that if I have some idea of what it is you are seeking to.
I guess in the terms of my, I guess, endeavors, like to create a business. Let's go with that. If there's anything I need to pay attention to or keep to my awareness.
And what is it you are seeking to do?
Start a business, helping other people.
And you have set up a business plan?
I'm starting on it.
Well, finishing it would be the first piece of suggestion to be given to anyone. What service do you plan to offer to people?
I want to help them with healing, kind of a medium healing. We'll call it that, esoteric mediumship to help them heal.
So you are attempting to create a source of income in which you can use your abilities as a healer and perhaps a psychic to help others. So you wish to be either a psychic or a combination perhaps of a psychic reader and healer. And that is what you are seeking.
Yes, I'm a multifaceted person.
I'm sorry, what was that last thing?
I said, oh, you're breaking up. I said, I'm a multifaceted person.
A multifaceted person. Yes. And I realized that there was some breaking up. I hope the connection is better at this time. This is a very difficult business to start. And all you can do at this point in time is to decide where you wish to advertise. And then you also need to decide exactly what your greatest talent or what the greatest need is for. Because people do not necessarily go to a spiritual healer or a psychic. There are not enough people who choose that avenue for guidance. Those who will seek guidance and are serious about guidance are more likely to go to perhaps their doctor, a holistic physician, and perhaps a psychologist or someone to help them. Those who are seriously looking for advice and help and guidance. Now, there are people who are life coaches or health coaches. If any of those particular subjects can be developed by yourself, you can advertise those things and perhaps get enough clientele to support yourself. But it will be a difficult way. And so when you are asking me, what is it I need to do? And my business plan is not finished, you have not addressed these questions. And so my suggestion for you is that you become clearer on what it is you have to offer and on which way you think you can best make these offers. When you decide to be a life coach, and that is how you will bill yourself, advertise yourself, then there are groups you can join, which you can pay, so that you are advertising your skills in an area in which people are already seeking to come in contact and get close to someone with your talents. So you can look for associations, if you wish to look at it that way, of people with similar talents that already have advertising on the internet. And you can join that group perhaps, and they will charge you, of course, but you can post your advertising about yourself to their location, and hopefully their location will give you more information. On that a group such as Facebook, you can start talking about incidences of people that you have healed or that you have given great advice to. Of course, you must make these people anonymous. You cannot indicate in any way who these people are. But if you can tell a good story, perhaps you will grab people's interest and have others call you. Now, if you do not, I am not familiar with the other types of internet areas, but there are ways that you can talk to people, and I just do not know or remember at this time what they are called. But they are similar to Facebook in that many people can follow you and listen to your advice. You can do a blog and start to write about helpful things for people. In other words, health tips, psychology tips that might help people in difficult situations that they can just read and subscribe to. And this could be the basis for accumulating followers and customers. Mm-hmm. When you give something away for free, chances are something will return to yourself. And so that is really my suggestion, that you offer as much as you can in blogs or advertising with just good, helpful words to people. And these things will then should return to you. Some customers and some money and things that you desire. So that is, I think, the answer to your question.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. I hope it has been helpful. Are there other questions?
I'd like to ask.
Yes, Roncar,
I'm sorry, Elizabeth, could you hold up a minute? Linda was asking a question.
I'd like to ask Roncar if I'm having a lot of dental problems, and I'm hoping that they'll be resolved easily. I'm doing what I can to take care of the situation.
And so that I'm doing what I can to take care of the situation. You have gone to a dentist
Yes,
and you are
second
following,
opinion. Yes, second opinion.
and you are following some advice.
Yes.
But it is either too expensive.
It's very stressful.
Yes.
And because, it's
Dental work is always stressful.
right.
It is a blessing not to have teeth. That is my position. In spirit, I do not have teeth. It
Oh,
is a
good. I
blessing to
can't
have
wait.
no
I
teeth.
can't wait for that. And then, if you don't mind, I started a part-time job on Monday, and it's having an awful, awful effect on my little dog. And I'm thinking I might have to give it up.
Oh, your dog is
Oh,
missing you.
he's very upset and very not happy with me. And yeah, and
I do not know how to help you with that situation.
okay,
Perhaps a dog trainer might be able to help you and give you good suggestions.
okay,
I cannot.
okay,
I do
thank
not
you.
have that. As for the dental situation, you have gone to two dentists, you got a second opinion, and you are experiencing great anxiety over the dental work.
Right.
And I understand that. I have a suggestion which is rather unconventional, and but it may solve your problem in the sense that it will not take care of the dental work. However, it can help you be more relaxed and confident about going to the dentist. And that is to see a hypnotist and tell him or her that you have a fear of this dental work that you need, and you would like to be hypnotized so that you can be relaxed in the dental chair and you do not have to suffer the anxieties that you are going through at this time. That will be a person who will be able to address your fear on the subconscious level and should be able to help you in only 1 or 2 sessions to become more confident and relaxed in the dentist chair. And the work, probably both dentists told you very similar answers on how to take care of things. Then you can decide which one and just do what you need to do.
Okay, thank you, Roncar.
You are welcome. Elizabeth, you had a question.
I did. I have a question about the Akashic Records. Why
Okay,
would somebody go to the records? How do they approach that? And once it's cleared there, is it removed the light for you, or does it stay there and you just view it again with some more understanding of whatever it is that's wrong in the Akashic Records?
okay, I'm going to have to ask you to repeat your question. You were breaking up and I could not, I didn't get, I did not hear.
Okay, what I wanted was some information about the Akashic Records.
Yes,
And why would a person go to it? Someone explain to me if there's something that you want to have changed from the record. And then my next question is, during the life review, once it's taken care of, is it then out of sight, out of mind? Kind of like the Catholics believe about confession, that it's never to be up and mentioned again? Or are you going to relive it again with a different understanding?
okay. You have asked very good questions and I appreciate these questions. Okay. Elizabeth, I would ask you to mute yourself. Okay, I see you are muted.
Yeah, I was muted.
just because I'm hearing, who, is there anyone not muted? I think everyone is. Occasionally I hear echoes, which conflict with what I am saying. So the Akashic Records, why would someone go to the Akashic Records? Because it is a record of all things that have happened in the past. And if you want to understand something about your present that might have been caused by that which is in the past, in other words, past relationships or past situations that somehow is affecting you in this time, because this does happen, that past lives are sometimes, are frequently, excuse me, I will use that rather than sometimes, are frequently resident within the subconscious mind. In other words, the subconscious mind is aware of past incarnations and things that happen to you. And sometimes the subconscious mind will develop fears or instigate actions based on what has happened in a past life. And so you might want to consult via yourself or with the aid of someone else, consult the Akashic Records to find out if there is something in this current life that has been affected by some past life and your subconscious mind reacting to it. Your second question had to do with the life review that occurs upon transition. And what does that do for you? Or how does that affect you in the future? It brings clarity and understanding to your life, and your last life on the physical plane, because that is what the life review is about, of course. It is about what you did in your life and the consequences of your actions, both for yourself and for others. Some of which, most of which, you cannot understand while you are still in the physical, because you simply cannot see all the ramifications of all your actions. And as a result, this knowledge is lost to you. So when you go through a life review after transition, and you see the consequences of your words and actions, you have clarity on both your misdeeds, so to speak, as well as those things that have were good in your lifetime. And you'll know what you did good and what you didn't do so good. And you get to see and understand the consequences of life. And this then can be a guide to you in choosing the circumstances of future incarnations. Now, I understand that many people say they do not want to come again, that they have had quite enough of this living on earth. There are nothing but problems, which is quite true. When you are in the physical, you can look at it as having lots of problems, but you can also looking at it as having lots of opportunities to learn, opportunities to grow, opportunities to be of service to other people, of which you have done a great deal. And so you can see life as having opportunities. And also that It is only on the physical plane that you can demonstrate your ability as a God-powered individual with God's greatest power, which is the power of creation. And your life review helps you to realize what you created in life and see all the connections. And so, with this information in mind that you can receive in your life review, you can now look for and think about a time period, a set of parents, perhaps siblings, perhaps society, what you would like to come to have an opportunity to grow in your next life and also to create in your next life. And so this gives you guidance in making those decisions about your next incarnation. Sometimes we need time to think and grow once we are in spirit. And if you determine you need time, you take time. You are out of time, you can choose any time that you like. You can take time in the past from your last incarnation or time in the future. When the situation is right for you, you can decide that you will incarnate again. And so you will do so. And for all those people who say, no, this is my last incarnation, I do not want to have another one, I can let you know that you will probably change your mind and come back again. Did I answer your question?
Yes, but another thing, with that, going back to the Akashic Records, help you understand another past life, because I can't recall anything that I remember at all except for this life here.
Yes. Well, yes. It's not easy to
Maybe
go.
I was gonna say, maybe I didn't have a past life. I don't know.
It's not easy to access the Akashic records. You must be very good at you just must be very good at being able to relax, concentrate, and get to the point that you want to get to, either in the Akashic records or it's just simply there. Chances are you did not, it is not that you did not have a prior lifetime. It is that you just didn't make it to the Akashic records.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Are there other questions?
I'll jump in on that one, Roncar.
Yes.
I mean, the Akashic records, and I've listened to people that were able to tap into it, and it is fascinating. But my attitude is all my power is in my now. It's okay. So Juana told me years ago that I was, from a pygmy tribe, and I think a life in India. But that doesn't give me anything to grow from on a day-to-day level. It's curiosity and whatnot, but to help the individual that asked the question, it's really not about what happened in the past. To me, my perspective is, what am I creating for my future? And yes, we are all curious our whole life experiences that we've had, but if it's circular in the now, then we are multidimensional creators, creating the past, present, and the future all simultaneously. So to access the Akashic record, and it's only the Akashic record of this planet, and my belief, of course, has always been that I am not from this planet, that I am a starseed, I'm Palladian, I've been told by others. And so the Akashic record that she's referring to is only the Akashic record of Earth. And you have more to you than just this planet. We're all from somewhere else, all of us. And whatnot. That is, of course, my belief system. There's no way to prove that one, but I have listened not just to Roncar, but countless others that do have memories of other lives living on other realms of reality, and to include Roncar for this matter, speaking through a vessel as non-physical and whatnot. And, what is Roncar's Akashic record tied to, being a non-physical? So that's a very complex, deep thing, and it's on multi levels. But we're all on a journey and we all question. And that's great that you're asking the question, because that's something we all think about. So I just wanted to chime in support of that.
Well,
and
thank you
whatnot.
very much. I'm sure Elizabeth found it helpful. It is a good question to ask. Why do you want to look into the Akashic records? What is the purpose? What is it that you are seeking to find, so that it, which would perhaps be of help to you in this current incarnation? And you may or may not find something that is of help to you in this incarnation, because it's like looking into any day in a life. It may or may not give you the information that you are seeking. At any rate, I do not think you need to consult the Akashic records for any information that you want. And you really have access to all the information that you need. It is always there within you. Are there other questions?
Can I jump in on that conversation?
Sure.
So I remember my past life, and I
Ooh.
actually suffer the ailments in this life from the previous life. So in this life, I've always had neck problems and migraines. And anytime I went to a chiropractor and he does an x-ray, he would ask me, when did you break your neck? I never broke my neck in this life. And he said I had the results from it, a bad accident injury of a broken neck. And still I had very bad neck problems and migraines. And so I was having dreams, in the past of a carnival. And I kept having these nightmares. I was like maybe 5, 6 years old at a carnival with stuffed animal. And I fell off a roller coaster. And from there, I said one night, I want to know what's the name of this carnival? And then it said it in the dream. And I looked it up and it was an actual place from back before I was born years ago. And, I do tarot and crystal ball readings and stuff like that. And I did a lot of research and found out that I did fall off a roller coaster and broke my neck. And so that led me to the answers of why I have this neck problem. And every doctor asked me, when did you break your neck? So I just thought that would be a helpful thing to let you guys know that, your ailments and stuff from your past life and whatever happened can linger to your next life.
And that is correct. As I had stated, the subconscious mind often holds on to things from past lives or a particular past life. And in this case, she has an anomaly in her neck, which was the result of what's happened in the past life. This is also not uncommon. that some aspect of yourself still shows up as a problem in your current lifetime because it is something you need to deal with. So she has to deal with her neck difficulties, which give her headaches, and perhaps someday she shall find someone who can say, I know what I can do for you. And we will hope that for her so that she gets rid of her migraines. So that is one reason that sometimes you might not want to consult the Akashic records, but past life hypnosis can be helpful in finding out the source of something in your life from a previous lifetime. So that is
Can
what
you
it-
release something like that? The individual with the neck problem from another life, carrying it in this life, to me is somewhat unfair to her. I mean, you know, so you're
Excuse me.
saying that she didn't transcend the lesson in the other life when she was injured as a 5-year-old. So in this life, she still has to work through that to release it.
It
Thank
is
you.
your choice. I know you have said you thought it was unfair, but it was her choice. You always choose your parents and the situations you want to be born into, and the karma, so to speak, that you are going to work on in this lifetime. We don't know from her description, other than the fact that she continues to have migraines as a result of, I will call it a birth defect at this point in time, which may have occurred because of the influence of a past lifetime when she fell out of a roller coaster and broke her neck. So these things, it's her choice. She would not have it if she did not choose it. And she does not have to keep it forever. She can find the right person to take care of it for her. It is possible. I could give other explanations, but I do not wish to because I do not want to influence further, but it is possible that if the fall did not kill her, that dealing with paralysis from a broken neck may have been a difficult time for her in her lifetime growing up. And so in this lifetime, she is not paralyzed from the broken neck, even though she has headaches, but she is in a different situation. So the accident of the previous lifetime, while it has an effect on this incarnation, it is not the same as when she did it initially. And she has more power, perhaps, to take care of it in this lifetime. In other words, perhaps a neurologist might be of more help than the chiropractor.
What about hypnosis? Could hypnosis, where she would go through the trauma of that and then release it from the other life, perhaps, if she had a good hypnotist to
It's
take her through
possible that it is possible that they could get rid of might possibly get rid of her headaches. They, of course, cannot change the irregularity which has happened in her neck that she was probably born with. So a hypnotist cannot change that, but he may be able to, or she may be able to eliminate the headaches. I am not sure. It would take a good hypnotist. So we are almost back. Yes.
No, I was just going to say thank everybody for their input, but I guess I did a pretty good job at choosing this life, and I'll just live this to the end of the time and go from there. I'm not going to go looking for trouble.
That is my suggestion. This is the lifetime that you have, so that you do the best you can with it now and create as much happiness and good health that you can in every lifetime. This is your
I feel
goal.
very blessed, so I don't care. I was just curious about it, that's all.
I understand. Okay, it is time for me to say goodnight. And I thank you all for coming. I give you all my blessings. Good night.